What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 2OT. Today we are again covering more Cavs trade speculation, more NBA trade speculation to be exact. We're covering Paul George, and today I'm going to tell you the reasons why I think Paul George will end up in Cleveland in this coming season. So let's get right into it. First of all, Paul George does not want to play on any other team but the Lakers. He wants to be in LA. He wants to be where he grew up, and he's going to do whatever it takes to try to get a trade there. Now, I don't think the Lakers make a move on this. I think they're perfectly happy with letting Paul George, letting the saga draw out until they can sign him in free agency next year. But, disclaimer, I do think the Lakers are the only other realistic team that Paul George may end up joining this coming. Back to the Cavs. So, Paul George has made it very obvious that he doesn't want to play for anybody but the Lakers. And that's going to deter pretty much every other team from making a deal for Paul George. You know, no team is going to want to give up good young assets for a guy who may just leave them after a year anyways. It's not worth it, especially for a rebuilding team. That's a major setback. I don't think any other team will try to do that. Boston, for example, has a ton of young assets, but I think they'll just be too scared to make a move on that. Danny Ainge is a scared little freaking bitch anyways, so, I don't think Danny Ainge makes a move on that. He's had plenty of opportunities to make much safer deals, and he hasn't done that. So I don't think he's going to go out on a limb and make a very risky deal in which he could lose the superstar that he's trying to trade for. I think he's smarter than that. I don't think Boston makes a move for Paul George unless they get a definite I will stay there after this year, maybe a sign and trade if that's possible. But I don't think Boston, is a major player here. I think there's a lot of rumors for Boston because they have the most assets, but I don't think they actually go after him. I just don't think so. That's not what I'm thinking. So I've already said that LA is where he wants to play. A lot of teams aren't going to want to make a move for Paul George for a guy that they may only get for a season. So why would the Cavs end up with him? Because wouldn't the Cavs rather keep Kevin Love on the contract that he's on than sign a guy who might leave after a year? I think the Cavs are very, very confident, and there's been multiple reports of this, that the Cavs are very confident that their championship culture will lure Paul George in to sign another deal after this season. I think that's spot on. Once he gets there, once he starts playing with LeBron, once he starts playing with Kyrie, once he starts realizing what a winning organization is like and what it feels like to just dominate the league on a really fun and talented team. Let's say they make a push to the finals. Let's say they take Golden State to 7 games. Maybe they win the finals. I think he's going to be like, wow, I have a chance to be legendary here. I have a chance to be in a legendary rivalry. I have a chance to be a Hall of Fame player alongside LeBron James. I have a chance to let LeBron James kind of excel my career to a different level than what it was before and take the tips that, he can give me and build off of those for when I'm, the guy on the team. Because LeBron, let's say Paul George signs for a couple years, LeBron's going to start fizzling out eventually. Eventually it's going to happen, and then Paul George can take over. Maybe after that he leaves and goes to LA and kind of finishes out his career in LA, which I would be fine with. I'm a Cavs fan. I would be fine with that. Getting a few years of Paul George with Kyrie, with LeBron, though, would be absolutely amazing. And I think the culture of the team could realistically make him stay. And that's why Cleveland will not be scared to make a deal on this. They are fully confident in that kind of theory that our culture is going to be enough to keep him here. And I completely agree with that. I think they have a very good chance of keeping him there. And I don't think trading Kevin Love for Paul George or to another team for young assets and then send those assets to Indiana and then sends Paul George to Cleveland, I don't think that's a bad option at all. I think they 100% need to do it. It could be legendary. It could make one of the most legendary teams ever created alongside the Golden State Warriors. It would be a very fun thing to watch. So that's why I'm giving the two options right now, LA, Cleveland. LA has enough young assets to just do a straight up trade with Indiana. I think if it comes down to it and we're getting closer to the regular season and LA gets worried that, oh man, Cleveland might actually get Paul George from Indiana, then they might offer a trade, but I think they're really going to play the waiting game and play it safe there. So another reason, currently Indiana is denying every trade attempt that Cleveland tries. While this works now, once it gets towards the regular season and they realize that, wow, not many people are making a play to get Paul. You know, we might be stuck with him this season. We might end up losing him for nothing after the end of this season. Once they start realizing that, I think they're going to get a little antsy, and they might take a trade that earlier on in the offseason they wouldn't have taken. And Cleveland has Kevin Love. Kevin Love, that's a good option. That's a good piece. A lot of teams would like Kevin Love, and a lot of teams would give up some young guys for Kevin Love. I mean, they would. Cleveland has that in their pocket. They have the ability to make a 3-team trade. Yes, Indiana is holding out now, but I think as we get closer to the season, they'll be more likely to accept a trade. LA, again, that's the only other option I see happening this offseason. I think they could potentially also get antsy and want to make a trade and make a deal to get Paul George there now and not have to worry about maybe him signing elsewhere, him signing, re-upping with Cleveland after next season. You know, they really want him. So I could see that potentially happening. But there you go, guys. There's my reasons for why Paul George will end up in Cleveland. At least why I think Paul George will end up in Cleveland this coming season. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Would love to see what your thoughts are on this whole thing. It's been a very big story in the NBA so far this offseason. Very fun to follow. I've been enjoying it a lot. But let me know down below in the comments. What do you guys think? Do you think Paul George ends up in Cleveland? Where do you think he ends up? Why? Leave a like if you liked the video and subscribe for more episodes. There will be more coming at you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.